Hi, my name is Michael. I'm in my final year of study at Deakin University. I will use the next 5 minutes to demonstrate why white-collar crime is more serious than blue-collar crime. The definition of white-collar crime refers to financial motivated crime, normally committed by business or government professionals. Typical white-collar crimes include fraud, bribery, Ponzi schemes, inside trading, money laundering, etc., etc. Although white-collar crimes do not intend to be a violent nature, they most certainly have their victims. The victims are often financially affected to a great degree, and some victims have their life savings taken. For example, one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history, mode of investment scandal, had more than 4,000 clients before being discovered. A lot of fraud victims had no desire to live and committed suicide after losing their life savings. Thousands of family lives are significantly affected and destroyed. How is this not a violent property crime? Isn't the impact much more serious than blue-collar crime? From the Keep It Real interview, we learned that the offense was charged with fraud. He embezzled a large amount of money over a period of 4.5 years. Falsified accounting record. In this case, depends on the amount involved and the impact on the company. This could seriously affect the business operation, and in worst case scenario, even bankruptcy of the company. This would create job losses for the company, employees, and other financial impact on general public. Another case like the ones we've seen in the interview is Iran scandal, which it cost 4,500 employees lost their jobs, and investor lost around $60 billion within a few days. It also resulted one of the biggest accounting firm at the time, Arthur Andersen, lost its accreditation and eventually closed for business. And yet, what's misleading about white-collar crime is the assumption that only violent crime inflict harm. Both Iran and Murdoch scandal proved that thousands of people were affected and lives were lost due to these crimes. Therefore, I believe white-collar crime is more serious than blue-collar crime. Traditionally, white-collar crime in some countries are not regarded as serious. This could be because of the local cultural value. For example, when doing business in China, people are used to gift giving. This is part of Chinese tradition, and it normally started with something really small. But over the time, this becomes a method of bribery between business senior management and government officials. At the beginning, it didn't bring any attention to the government and general public, and it wasn't handled correctly by the local institution. Until recent time, more and more of this bribery scandal caused business loss for the country and financial losses to general public. Government started to put in place rules and regulation over the past decade. Now China is one of the few countries in the world that does apply death penalty to a certain level of white-collar crime. To conclude, white-collar crimes do create financial damage for general public, and most of the time the scale is much broader than blue-collar crime. The impact is also more serious, and life has been lost due to this crime. Therefore, I do believe white-collar crime is more serious than blue-collar crime. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lam Mai Yan. Maybe in this video, I will discuss about white-collar crime is less serious than the blue-collar crime, and And I will talk about the perception impacted by the cultural value. First of all, let's define what is blue-collar crime and white-collar crime. Blue-collar crime is the crime which committed by the lower social classes against to white-collar crime. That's the criminal may have a lower education level or they lower technical skills. So like murder, committing arsons, rape, that is a blue-collar crime. On the other hand, white-collar crime is the crime committed by the professional or business person because of the financial motivation that this person have the higher education level and higher education level and the higher technology skills. So fraud, bribery, corruption, that is a white-collar crime because they need a more technology skills and the more education level to commit this crime. In my opinion, blue-collar crime is more serious than the white-collar crime. The impact of the blue-collar crime are more serious than the white-collar crime. White-collar crime harm the social and economic interests that shareholder will suffer the loss because of the bad reputation of company. Also, other party will be harmed, like employees lose their job, or other party like creditors or the supplier can't get back their money again. On the other hand, blue-collar crime can be range of impact of victim. It can include a financial loss like the theft or demand of property but it can lead to the physical and mental injury. White-collar crime only focus on the focus on the financial losses, and people can earn or get back their loss again. However, blue-collar crime can lead to the death or serious injuries cannot be resolved by the compensation. So therefore, blue-collar crime is more serious than the white-collar because it can lead to the some loss of that you can recover by the compensation or any amount of money. Blue-collar crime are always certification and you can stop them. If you commit the blue-collar crime will be found out only a few days. However, white-collar crime always be found out after a long period of time. Therefore, people can stop doing white-collar crime, but blue-collar crime you cannot stop it. Also, blue-collar crime have a particular victim, but white-collar crime do not have the particular victim. In these two differences between white-collar crime and blue-collar crime, blue-collar crime is more serious than the white-collar crime. Also, there are the cultural value associated with the level of serious of a crime. The penalty between blue-collar crime and white-collar crime affected our own opinions about the level of serious of crime. According to the Crime Act in Australia, although there are no mandatory sentence of murder, the highest penalty of murder is life imprisonment. It means murder is a serious crime in the people's opinions. Relatively, the penalty of white-collar crime are always may lead to get a high amount of years or several years of imprisonment based on the differences between penalty because of the differences of penalty between blue-collar crime and white-collar crime. Blue-collar crime will be more serious than white-collar crime even in different countries because of the different legislation. The culture are one of the important elements affect people when they recognize the level or serious of crime of white-collar or between blue-collar crime and white-collar crime. The social environment will affect people's behavioral and values of crime. The conflict of culture and the conduct norms will generate the judgment of crime and unethical behavior. Therefore, when people work in other countries, they may make an ethical decision based on their own culture rather than the legislation of the host country. So like some Asian country, they may think they give a gift to their supervisor is just for polite, but in Western country they is not is illegal, illegal. And if people come from other countries which do not keep a good regulation, they may easier to do some ethical behavior and commit the crime. And that is my reference list of my debate, and that is the end of my part, and then I will have a debate with Michael. Thank you.
Regarding Mimi's point that white-collar crime only causes financial losses, as I mentioned earlier, in both Iran and Madoff scandal cases, they not only result in financial losses for both business and general public, they also had a long-term mental damage on victims, and in both cases, we had victims commit suicide. Also using Mimi's point, that white-collar crime normally doesn't have a particular victims, which resulted the number of victims much more compared to blue-collar crimes. Finally, I do agree Mimi's point about Australia doesn't have enough punishment on white-collar crime. But I believe this is an area Australia needs to improve. Unlike other parts of the world, Australia has been referred as white-collar crime heaven. Main reason is the reduced penalty on white-collar crime. In other parts of the world, like US, Canada, and Europe, offenders can be sentenced to lifetime, and countries like China even has death penalties. In both Iran and Madoff scandal cases, there are people sentenced for more than 100 years, which further proves Australia needs tougher punishment on white-collar crime. Based on the information above, I do believe white-collar crimes is more serious than blue-collar crimes. Thank you for your time.
Hello, it's Mimi again. According to Michael's opinion, I need to reaffirm the level of serious about blue-collar crime. Michael argued that the loss of white-collar crime can lead to thousands of families collapsing and committing suicide. For example, more over than 4,500 customers suffered the loss in Pencil scheme. However, there are not just white-collar crime will lead to a lot of large family collapsing, like September 11 attack in United States. How about the school shooting case in United States or a rape case in India? As those type of blue-collar crime often appear in those countries, the image of those countries are also affected. Blue-collar crime not just lead to physical and mental injury, it can affect the image of country. Moreover, Michael argued that the white-collar crime can impact the serious level of penalty like death penalty in China. However, the corruption is a very critical issue in Chinese government. As the problem existing, the Department of Law Enforcement do not execute the law straightly. A lot of administrators and businessmen transfer their dirty money in overseas country. How about the penalty of Western country? In the Enron case, the middle and higher level of managers who participating in the scandal face some penalty like high amount of compensation and imprisonment, but their gain on scandal still higher than their loss. To conduct blue-collar crime is more serious than the white-collar crime. And finally, that is our reference list. This is the end of our debate. Thank you.